Hi, everybody. My name is Sarah, and this is Pearls of Wisdom in Food with Carnivore, Carnivish, Keto, and the crew of Goldilocks and Snowflakes and Pickles and Turtles. We have the whole gang here because we're all totally different from each other with what works, what doesn't work, and how we get ourselves into jams, no sugar, and out of jams because we want our health to keep getting better, to keep feeling better, along with, of course, losing the weight if that's what we want as well. So I found myself in a pickle. This is kind of a continuation of the previous video. I found myself in a pickle because I was doing what a lot of people were saying. I was eating beef every single day. That was my OMAD. Just a nice, strict, disciplined carnivore way of eating. And I was listening to young people talk about it, and I not only was not losing weight, but I was beginning to gain weight. And I just didn't feel, I said I was feeling great. I could do it for the rest of my life. But I was really kidding myself because most of the way in, it's like, well, I'm gaining, and I don't like that. And they would say, I'd listen to these women that would talk, probably, under 40, sometimes under 45. And they would say, well, if you're gaining weight on carnivore, you need to eat more. And although I'm pretty much educated, I wasn't like, it's like, eat more beef. That'll help me lose weight. I'm already at a pound and a half a day. And you want me to go up to 2 pounds because that'll kick in something that'll make me lose more weight? I don't know. I don't know. And I trusted and believed in them until one day I didn't. And I don't know what was contributing to it. More of my, the veils were lifted, and it's like, sure, this carnivore thing works for an almost 70-year-old woman. Almost 70? Yes. And that I needed to trust what these young people were saying and that I would eventually lose weight. And none of them, one of the little codes that I noticed, the unspoken codes, is that, first of all, except for that one woman that likes to be seen in her bikini, most of them were usually, fully dressed, and it wasn't about their body image and how much weight they were losing. And they really didn't talk about it. As I scrolled through YouTube, I could see plenty of like newbies talking about, the inches they lost, the pounds they lost, and all of that. But my good old hardy body just wasn't having it. And so I was weighing myself, as most of you know, once a month, the first Thursday of every month. And I was gaining like a half a pound, 3/4 of a pound, a whole pound. And I was doing that for like 7 months into February. And I went, I'm not going to weigh myself anymore. I don't like this. I wanted to get to that turnaround point that some of them did talk about. But nobody was really echoing me. I wasn't saying it out loud, so how could they echo me? But, I was still having 2 to 3 cups of coffee a day. And I did switch to 1 black and then 2 with fats and Keto, Kitu. It's a non-dairy creamer. And so I was having my 3 cups of coffee and then my OMAD of, all the meat. And every now and then I would have some pork, but I was basically a beef girl. And since then, I've switched. It's been a few weeks now, and I've totally switched up. My body tells me that 1 cup of black coffee a day is enough. So right there, I've got the 24 hours of that intermittent fasting without adding any fats to it. Could that make a difference in my weight loss? I don't know. There's no way to really check because I changed that along with the foods. And the thought of having more ribeye during the week like I was doing. Greg would cook a bunch on the big green egg. I'd freeze it because of the histamines that I was having later in the week, and there we'd go. And I can have ground beef at this point. Like tonight, I'm having a cheeseburger on the Weber gas grill, and along with some Angus hot dogs, uncured, blah, 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 blah. And so those things seem to be working for me, and I don't get that feeling that I was getting. I was getting it at the thought of beef, taking another bite, or steak, I should say. And I was getting it all throughout the day, just this sour stomach sort of thing. And so in the last week, I decided to weigh myself because I haven't weighed myself since February, and here it is towards the end of June. And my weight came in 0.3 less than my weigh-in in February, where I was just inching up every month. Now, to me, that's huge because I know that in the past couple of weeks, I've dropped inches and weight. I can feel it. I know it. You just begin to know it. I've changed up my diet to a little bit more keto focused, not keto breads or pastas or treats or desserts or anything like that, but a couple of berries, a few asparagus, little green beans, and it all works. I even had a sweet potato one week in the last 3 weeks, one time with the fish, because the fish was like 400 calories. I couldn't add more fish. And so I added the sweet potato because a lot of carnivore people and, carnivish do have those sweet potatoes, and it doesn't kill them. It doesn't make them want to run out and have naughty things, standard American diet things. It just is a nice addition. And so now I've got that whole day of nothing but black coffee, and it seems to be working. I seem to feel great. My calorie count is like 1,000, and I'm finding that works for me. I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble on the other side because my body thinks it's starving itself. So it, starts applying it back to my hips. So far, that's not true. Maybe it's never true. Maybe for a 70-year-old female body, maybe that's what it takes to keep going. I'm still healing from my fall. I don't know. None of these questions do I know. I don't have, an MIT-trained scientist, keeping me in a locked room and doing all kinds of labs on me and feeding me certain foods to see what works and doesn't work. I'm just sharing with you what has been working for me. I love cottage cheese. I like plain yogurt, but I love cottage cheese, and I've been having that more. I've been having eggs more. I've been having my little snack pack cheeses a little bit more. I've been having sausage a little bit more. I've been having bacon a little bit more. And so I've got a hankering for a chicken breast every now and then. Tomorrow night, I'm having a pork chop that was smoked on the big green egg, and I'll finish in the air fryer. These are changes that are just kind of working for me. I like the added veg. Believe me, it's such a small amount, My carbs, I am keeping under 10 total. And it was funny, I was just on a Diet Doctor website, and they said the secret to ketosis is to keep your net carbs, under 10. And it showed different plates. One plate was like cherry tomatoes, zucchini, a yellow pepper, and a lot of leaves of spinach, or the bottom part of a bun for 20 net carbs. And in the next picture, it showed 20 net carbs with pasta, rice, potatoes, and that hamburger bun. Now, I'm not craving a hamburger bun, or, I think of rice every now and then because I know some people that do have rice and it settles in their tummy. The Bulletproof Man, Dave Asprey, is one of them. And but I haven't had rice yet. I had my sweet potato, and that was delightful. And yes, I will do it again. But anyway, it's an interesting turn of events, And I'm not sure if the 23 to 24 hours a day with only black coffee is making a difference along with the food choices. And I just wanted to share that here. So I didn't weigh myself at the top of my gain slash game because I knew I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to see it. And of course, now that I know that I'm in the losing stage, I wish I had, but I wouldn't have liked what I saw. So I am not one that ate beef, lost inches, felt great, could do it forever. I did it for 8 to 10 months with just the carnivore. And it was a nice experience. You know, I learned a lot about me. I watched a lot of videos. In watching the videos, I learned how much health can improve with the carnivore food plan. But for me, things started to go a little backfiring around the 10 months, and I began to alter the beef, add some cottage cheese, add some berries, and add very little veg and a little avocado. And it seems to be working. So I just wanted to let you know where it lands. Will I weigh myself again? Yeah, probably the first week of July, which is coming up. And we'll see how I'm doing with it then. I'm using my chronometer again. I'm using my kitchen scale. I wasn't doing that when I was carnivore. I was just slapping those slabs of beef and pork onto the plate and eating it, and then listening to encouraging tapes of not losing inches, videos, not losing inches, not losing pounds, eat more beef. And it's like, you know, I dutifully fed myself more beef, but it wasn't as satiating as I was telling myself and maybe telling you guys too. So as I come out of that phase and I'm into this phase, I just want to share with you. You know, I adore my Gerolsteiner water. It's like a big treat. My black coffee, who knew? It works for me. I love it. And so I just continue to enjoy the little subtle changes and what they bring to me. And I like making my little square plates too, although last night was a round one because it was hot food. And people ask me about my eggs. How do my eggs look as good as they do? I use a low flame for all my eggs. It's all the same. I use a little copper pan. I have a square one and I have a round one. And I use real butter like Plugra or Kerrygold. And from scrambled to fried to omelets, it's all the same. It's a very low flame. So I use probably just half a tablespoon of butter to cook all the 3 different ways of eggs that I have them. Even the hard-boiled ones I put in water, but no butter until after maybe, unless it's cold. And that's how I do it. I do it low and slow, the lowest flame on the gas burner, and they just come out looking that way. I don't speed or rush anything. For me, a hastily cooked scrambled egg didn't have that richness, that fullness. I don't use water or cream in it, just the eggs. And if I cook too fast, I'd get that watery liquid that I could almost drain with a colander, right? So that's how I cook my eggs, for those of you that keep asking. And even when making an omelet, you know, I do it, and when it looks like it's kind of cooked all the way through, I begin to add my cheeses, my meats, my avocado, and it all comes out nice. But the secret for me, or the deal for me, is that I use a very low flame and cook it slow. No rushing my eggs. So thank you so much for watching. This has been Sarah with changes going on, even using the scale, the chronometer, and the kitchen scale, because I'm finding that these are tools that are now coming in handy again. So never say never. I don't ever say never, because things can change. Maybe the same has happened for you. I don't know. But it's working for me, so it's a day at a time. And somebody sent me a quote about being flexible, and She's absolutely right. It's good to be flexible because it does make a difference. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you the next time. Bye-bye for now.